2, 1, 2. Check, check. You already know what it is. Moorish MC. Yeah, yo. All praise due to Allah, no bow ties. On my tracks, rappers get the warp speed blow-bys. Stay in my lane around corners, one man, no eye, Cyclops Bay. Covenant not new like polites. Running a fraud, I you pay 4,300, Lord, this is a legend. Typical coon in reference, but people support getting played rob for birthrights. It's not about fiat, your energy quenches their thirst, right? Vampires and warlocks speak with finesse in their speech. Subconscious mind traps won't release, detecting a breach. They diss and they profit, true Ali, they diss and they creed. Before you follow dirty Moors, listen to me. Every Moor is not your bro, most of them sold out. Ask Khalid, Malcolm, Shabazz, and the ones that know about getting stabbed in their back and talking about rights. Minus the civil, notwithstanding, like a cripple. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, the priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, the priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, the priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you. Middlemen come calling themselves prophets and godsends, claiming they're sovereign, following hillbilly nonsense, saying Moors are wrong, taking things out of context. Stupidity of conscious blacks is an inferior complex, following leaders that won't go with you off the cliff, lying about slavery and even about slave ships, robbing the ignorant, saying papers filed federal under the jurisdiction of attorney generals, claiming straw men for credit in a debt system. Yes, bonds from the treasury are really from the IMF. I am just saying what I see from the conscious, begging for donations while acting obnoxious, with no solutions. 1,500 for service products that cost 50 cents to print. These black devils are off their rockers. They don't feel awkward giving state ID to coppers. How women think killing the bay is gonna stop us. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, priesthood is dead. You better think nowadays, fam, use your head. The only savior is you, priesthood is dead.
To be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Black history is fine. You're gonna relegate my history to our month. Oh, what do you do with yours? Which month is life history? I'm Jewish. Okay, which month is Jewish history? Oh, why not? Do you want one? No, I don't need one. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Mustang, turn my phones up a bit. Ain't no change, it's the same. You still skylarking, most got stepdaddy like Harden. They harden, fixed in the ways, they too hardened. Some got convictions, even if they apply, they the victims, ain't get no pardon. Almanac is in the pen, middle finger to the warden. Free your mind, even though your body barred in. This war that I'm starting, might not want to pardon. That's why. If you're scared, stay far then. I'm prepared, ain't handing my card in. What they wanna call black is soot. Burnish bronze on the foot, charred in. Hydrogen molecule with the carbon. If you dare take a walk through the garden, set a stage for the role that I'm starting. I'm more in Black Knight like Martin. Soar, take flight like a Martian. I'm Thor, gladiator, Spartan. Still polite, a gentleman, charming. Presence like the Red Sea when it's parting. Kundalini energy when I'm charging. Like power and the force of a car wind. You know the type when you gotta keep your arm in. Why fight when you know saying now win? Never could compare. Let's make it clear. From day one to day done, I'm here. I never fear. You never ever could compare. Let's make it clear. Been running this from year to year. I stay prepared. Top ranking, top charting. We occupy the skids, crates, and the carton. The highest grade of the strain that I'm sparking. Up late nights, Johnny Carson. Early mornings, remember starving, engraved in my mind. Carved in the dwelling in the past. No harping, don't be afraid or alarmed by the barking. Keep it close by a very thin margin. Shadow box with a little bit of sparring. Cage fights when you fence, then you barbed in. No cavalry, desperado charging. Never could compare. Let's make it clear. From day one to day done, I'm here. I never fear. You never ever could compare. Let's make it clear. Been running this from year to year. I stay prepared. Cleansing the fire, don't burn. Peace don't run. Empty out when it's all that it go. Cleansing the fire, don't burn. Peace don't run. Empty out when it's all that it go.
I'm watching as the National Guard shot gets set and drew prophecy of soldiers with bayonets. Martial law coming, are you blind? It's bigger than curfews. You're stateless and they living off your virtues. Vampiric, touching their hair, you calling them rude. Blacks are dead carcasses, they see energy food. While you riot and run among us, Moors looking cuss, blacks out, Moorish Uncle Ruckus. You incompetent, not descendable, playing a fool. Or maybe not playing, cause I don't get what you're saying. You burn your own community down to the ground, but won't light up a precinct. You coward as clowns, giving cars black out the windows, busted lips, and the unity of CIA funded blood the Crips can be a step in the direction of King Alfred plan. If you want to really be free, kill that straw man. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Electrifying age. They use weapons of sound. So yo, we shall overcome chance. All get drowned. Pepper spraying bystanders. The new water hose. Most rioters are undercover pros in black clothes. Throwing the first projectile to start the riot infection. Disappear in the crowd, get you for insurrection. Enemy combatant status is prisoner of war. Blacks accept the slave status when they're from these shores. The slave ships are your projects and prisons you love dearly, where your children get killed in yearly. You better hear me, handcuffs are the new news. Clansmen trade sheets for badges and new suits. You damage, you loot. Thinking that's petty crime, marching for rights and revolving door prison pipelines. Either you wake up now or continue to suffer. Live under the thumb and watch for eye of Big Brother. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Learn, maybe learn. You already had the solution if you would only listen. The new order is standing on the older system. All that matters is you think before you feel, and recognize nobody talks in front of the pyramid seal. upside down, the shadow becomes a 7. Stop acting like Rosie, life is not the Jetsons. In reality, life is more like having X-Men gifts. Dimension shift where you recite hieroglyphs. Open your chakras, Kundalini energy shifts. Higher self out the lower, just stop feeling the slip. Start getting your mind forward, not keeping your mind black. Watch where you walk, I've seen people swallowed by cracks. Stop talking, kill crackers, posing with gas, the truth. It's time to plug in like a phone jack. Finally make the connection, make the correction. Blacks are abused for statelessness, not your complexion. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Let it burn, burn, baby burn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Maybe they would learn, maybe learn. Burn, burn. Ask a Garveyite and the NOI2. How come you don't know about truth? Ask your teacher, Master Masons, or your seafood. How come you don't know about truth? Go ask your reverend, ask their family crew. How come you don't know about truth? Ask the warlocks of rap, sipping evil witches brew. How come you don't know about truth? Elijah Bey is the Moorish, National. Elijah Muhammad is the straw man shadow. York after Malachi is owned by the British. Zadok L is on the crew waiting for the idiots. Master of gods is Nuwapian's birthright. Teach from Nuwapian Morse paper they want to fight. Circle 7 is the universal flag. I rep that. Enclaves 13X is my dad. Nuwapi came first to save the mindless masses. Went from Moorish conventions to conscious classes. Went from feathers to kufis to baseball hats. Went from Rasta to Moorish, replace outside. Replace the RPG banner with a Moroccan flag. Replace Ross with cheek. Blacks get toe tag. Till I see triple crown is a fez with no tassel. Showing temple cards as ID with no hassle. Ask the Garveyite and the NOI2. How come you don't know about truth? Ask your teacher, Master Masons, or your seafood. How come you don't know about truth? Go ask your reverend, ask their family crew. How come you don't know about truth? Ask the warlocks of rap, sipping evil witches brew. How come you don't know about truth? Illuminate rap and Masons, rhyming Moorish science, hip-hop renaissance, reverse Earth's global climate. Out the dark ages, many pages get burned without the chance to flip, be read or turn. No learning, blacks enslaved by the vermin. The Moors victim to Inquisition is purging. The government violating the covenant of contract. Hip-hop general, Iron Sheik, no squad, the bomb track. Moors branded like Louisville slugger bass. With a name not theirs, boy, that initial contract. Most don't get it, cause they don't study the law. But they come from the galaxy behind the furthest star. To fight legal battles, they hire the bar. Who obtains lead cause he abandoned the rights thus far. Told you on Iron Sheik 2, no need to represent. Just study the prophet and what he presents. Most don't stand for what he defends. Most elders over their mouth, they need depends. Higher self ascends, lower he descends. Conscious without a nation means he pretends. She pretends, which means we pretend. Pick up abandoned birthrights and the healing begins. Build a pillar strong like 7 North alleged twins. Iron Sheik 100%, most are partly skimmed. Ask the Garveyite and the NOI2. How come you don't know about truth? Ask your teacher, Master Masons, or your seafood. How come you don't know about truth? Go ask your reverend, ask their family crew. How come you don't know about truth? Ask the warlocks of rap, sipping evil witches brew. How come you don't know about truth?
How come you don't know about Drew? Because your own sold you out. Still selling you out today, 2019. Are people still being sold out by their own? Because they don't want to fess up. They just want to play games with people. Why are you playing games? You already got your millions. Just tell the people what's up. Why are you playing around? But again, you know, we already know that there has to be balance. So it is what it is. They're going to be here for us to beat them up. Because as much people as we wake up, there's going to be agents on the other side trying to sway people to not recognize that this is divine first. and then national. This is divine first and then political BS or whatever. This is divine first and then whatever you claim you did for our people or whatever. Divine's first. And that's why, you know, the ritual is start class at 7 o'clock. That's divine first. Years. 7 o'clock. It's not everything should be divine first. But since people want to play games with you, and they don't want to let you know it's divine first. So you want to play games with you. Let's just start with, might as well start with this one.
Hold that one. I was in Libya, and the Grand Mufti of Burkina Faso, that man, when he met me, we talked a few minutes, but he had been listening to me. He took off his fez.
No hat, no bucket hat, no nothing, no BS. Straight to the point. Saviours Day. Straight to the point. Stream live. Off the top. Fez. 4 hours in. Four hours in. Telling you about some Fez. 4 hours in.
He's the highest spiritual leader in Burkina Faso. He studied in Syria.
Studied in Syria, huh? Now again, it's not like we don't know what's up. We are Moorish Americans. We give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali because he brought us back our nationality and our birthrights and our connection to our culture. Connection to our culture. Keep in mind, Moorish Science Temple has Grand Mufti, so you don't get it messed up. Because he went over there. That's some origin of something. Grand Mufti gives him his fez. I was talking about Syria. Pact of Umar, 7th century. Pact of Umar. The status of non-Muslims under Muslim rule. After the rapid expansion of the Muslim dominion in the 7th century, Muslim leaders were required to work out a way of dealing with non-Muslims who remained in the majority in many areas for centuries. The solution was to develop the notion of the dhimma, or protected person. the dhimmi, D-H-I-M-M-I, were required to pay an extra tax, but usually they were unmolested. This compares well with the treatment meted out to non-Christians in Christian Europe. The Pact of Umar is supposed to have been the peace accord offered by the Caliph Umar to the Christians of Syria, a pact which formed the pattern of later interaction. This is all stuff that he knows if he's talking Syria. Mary Ellen Snodgrass, World Clothing and Fashion, an encyclopedia of history, culture, and more. People are playing around with you like they don't know what's up. During the First Crusade, 1096 to 1099, French soldiers encountered Syrian olive soap and the fez, a cylindrical hat shaped from red felt and finished with a black tassel. This is 1000. You know about the fez? Syria? Do not let these people play around with you. Don't let them play around with you. Journal of American Folklore. And Islam to all the Moors who are teaching their children about their nationality and their birthrights and all this stuff that we're finding out that these people never told us about, that we had to find out for ourselves. They call themselves our leader or whatever. Haven't taught us anything. There's Moors that I know who nobody knows that's doing some real scholarly research better than these people out here you're calling scholar or whatever. You chase after them people. And there's real Moors out here. Moors who can't put down the pentagram with a candle and get manifest. Moors who can't walk into any institution, deal with any type of transaction, free national name, no issues. The only reason that people get played is this constant wanting to get something out of what the Moors are presenting. There's nothing to get out but your nationality and your birthrights. That's it. That's what you're getting. Now, when you get the box and you open up nationality and you open up birthrights and you put your hand in, it's going to suck you into something. And then you're going to find out what that's about. You have to get yourself out that box and then into the birthright box, which you know you're going to be hesitant because you already know when you open the box and put your hand, it's going to suck you into something. But no, people want to keep the box closed or whatever like that. Go around and play like they're Moors without getting sucked into the stuff. To really know what this is about. Because this is divine first. This is not about some cards, papers, and all that. This is about a culture. We're talking about the stuff is in Syria. That Syrian guy gave this guy his fez. He's a calypso singer. Why is this guy giving him his fez for? Because he's Farrakhan of the whatever? Are you dumb? Because he's some title guy Another title guy gave him a fez. FOH. The world knows that this man did the proclamation. What are you talking about? It's only the dumb Negroes in North America that don't know. And that includes the people who are down with the stuff that are sitting there. Nobody's like, hey, hold on a second. How come a Grand Mufti from Syria or whatever is giving this guy a fez, which is, you know, that's been on that side of the world for centuries. It's been there, the fez. And of all the stuff that these people got, you just think about them, Libyans, Syrians, you know, the crew. You know, quote unquote, the not in Africa guys. They have straight hair and they're pale, so they're not really African. Those guys. Of all the things of this man could give as a gift, he's giving him his fez off his head. What type of signal do you think they're sending? You can play around with this as much as you want. They're letting you dumb Negroes know, but they can't tell you because they know that they're in bed with U.S. corpse or whatever like that. So it's a compromise if they talk, just like everybody else in the world who just looks at you and says, yeah, just give me your nails. You know what they're saying? Look at these dumb niggers just coming in here. They can't even understand what we're saying right now. And they're going to give us, and then we're going to do their nails and their feet and their scrub off their corns and all that stuff like that. And we're going to make $1 billion because these people are dumbasses. But we can't tell them anything, so are you guys talking about me? Oh, no, just talking about your cons. Playing you because you want to be a dumbass. Think people don't know and they're not trying to tell you. You don't know that these people have oaths. That's why they have to shut the hell up and they have to talk to you in symbology. And your dumbass is sitting there for 4 hours. The best part of the stuff, this man pulls the fez out and then you're sitting there for another hour. Instead of getting your ass up, go to Moorish Temple, Moorish Divine National Movement, go somewhere, proclaiming your nationality, something. You're sit there, you're still going to be X. If he's telling you a Mufti gave him his fez, that means that they know he's a Moor. They know he's a Moor on this side. They know he's a Moor from this side. That's why he gave him his fez. Think about that. You people who don't study or whatever need to think about that. You people think that you know something and you belong to whatever organization that you've been belong to, and you know Farrakhan, and you go to his stuff right there, and you support the Million Man March, and you went down there and you put your fists up and you laid in the street, you did all the stuff. Then you went to the hip hop thing that he did. All the rappers came together and like, yeah, we're down now because we met the minister. So yeah, you're Morris. So that he got a nationality card. He proclaimed his nationality in the 90s. Ben proclaimed his nationality. Elijah Poole is a Bey. Forget Muhammad and all the BS. W.D. Fard, he's an L. He came out of Moorish Science Temple. The world knows this. Everybody knows. People write about it in their books and all that stuff. Everybody knows. Except the dumb Negroes in North America playing around. They don't want to be Moors. This man's pulling out a fez that a Grand Mufti gave him. Go look up Grand Mufti in whatever. Google, whatever you got. Anything. Dictionary, encyclopedia, whatever. Look up Grand Mufti. Why is this guy from over there giving this guy from over here his fez? You think they're not trying to send you a message? You really think this is about him giving him thing and that's it? Nothing else. Nothing else has to do with this. But he's going to come out on Saviours Day on the biggest stage of the NOI whatever to pull out a fez 4 hours in that a Grand Mufti gave him. And you talking crazy about Moors? But you're going to rep Farrakhan though. But you're not going to get... But he's telling you he's a Moor. Do you recognize that he can't talk? We're telling you he has an oath. Just like all the other black leaders. That's why, again, we're just saying, you know, we're Moors that study. So being that we're Moors that study, we sort of, you know, already know certain things.
And became the second black imam in Syria. The first one was Imam Bilal. 1400 years save us.
Don't get too far. Don't get too far. Don't get too far. These people are straight playing you. Right before he pulls out the fez and all that stuff, he gets his honorary into Omega. He's an honorary Greek guy now. Don't know that that was a message. That even though you guys brought me in as a member to your BS or whatever, I'll just let you know that I'm a Moor. So I don't think you could come over here and talk crazy and Mr. Farrakhan this and that. You need to help the whatever and stop talking about the Jews and stuff like that. Because I showed you guys the fez that the Grand Mufti gave me. Now think about what now the black guys, how the black guys in the head boule whatever are looking at him now. How you think they can't touch him? How come they don't just do him like Fred Hampton and just be done with it? If he's such a threat to the whatever establishment of the B system and all that stuff. Big threat. How come they just give him the Fred Hampton? Drug him, kick in the door, and that's that. Just do him like Drew Ali. Just kidnap him. Do whatever in prison. Then release him into the Moors who helped them kidnap him. And then 2 weeks later, there's just a funeral for him. He died of some disease. So people taking oaths, and people are on the run right now because they know that they messed up. But just like we said earlier, you can't use the birthright to get out of your BS. You already did too much BS. You can't use the birthright to get out now. So take it as they're giving you signals. King Alfred Plan told you, all the ambassadors and the black whoever's, remember the black Muslims are on the top of the list where they have agents. You're just thinking about some little middleman when it's the head of the thing that's the agent. And of course, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to do anything. You're just going to keep getting played. No, you're Omega Man now. Hey, Omega Man. They got their oath. How happy the Negroes are. How happy the Negroes are. Told you at Saviours Day by showing you Fez is up. Don't even try your BS with me. There's our Omega man now. Go watch Steve Coakley, who they assassinated, his lecture on the Boule, which is why they assassinated him. He'll talk BS, but we know. Just like we know Islam to the Moors again, who just study or whatever. Remember we told you about the murder in the house and stuff like that and what happened? So one of the Moors said, hey, you know that this man had a suit on these people? Like, hold on a second, what do you mean? What do you mean the Moor who had the medicinal marijuana store had sued against these people? That's why I said, how we men think killing the Bey is going to stop us? This is divine first. All we know is that this is another example. What Omar is going to say? He went to RV Bey Publications to do his grow up and they killed him? No, just like other people, highwaymen did it. European foreign mercenaries did it. But they're not going to talk about them doing it. They're going to talk about some active Moor is responsible for people getting hurt by individuals who are foreign occupiers that are getting a pass by these people you call scholars or whatever when they're agents. And their job the whole time has been to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind from the fact that you're Moors. They went as far as do news report, not even put the Mothershed Bey on them. Just call him Mothershed only. Lying. And then you already know he's another example of NY because he has the X right there. And he still had the Bey on it. I was a plaintiff. 1 year later, him and his family murdered. It's insane. Never heard of this Moor ever. Moor just minding his business. Has his store, his family. Bothering the man. Is why he exercised his right. There's no other reason. Suit was before the murder. So things look funny. Just like with Corian Gaines, things look funny. Just like with Trayvon Martin, things look funny. Just like with Amadou Diallo, things look funny. Just like Rodney King, things look funny. And it's always the foreign occupier. And then they have their little jerk boys play games with you. Straight play games with you. Because they keep playing their little games. Opposed to stand up for the right of the Moor, they're going to go a colonizer route. No different than, you know, Morrison affidavits, they're talking about motions. What are you talking about motions? What do you mean motions? What motions have to do with anything in the proceeding? Just individuals send affidavits. Affidavits supersede motions. So affidavit stands as law, automatic. It's not the hoopla that happens and all that stuff is because of dumb people who don't stand up for their right. So these people feel they can get away with whatever with anybody. But again, like why he got murdered, certain people really know how to be Moors. Certain people really know how to be Moors. Why else would he end up murdered? Why else? There's nothing. Again, just like with Corian Gaines, nothing that can convince me that there's some type of conspiracy going on. There's definitely a conspiracy going on. And it happens. But why would they want to dismiss an official capacity claim that's being brought against them? And it's not even being brought against them. It's being brought against one of their quote-unquote employees. And that's the heavy side on the seesaw, because he's one more. It's not like that for a bay to be versus a city. This is why Moor Science Temple of America dropped the ball, because they were supposed to be everywhere. To be that corpse that can engage any other corpse out here on behalf of whoever the corpse is trying to play around with. That's why there's supposed to be a Moorish Science Temple of America, a Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Old Canaanite Temple, everywhere. because we're our own jurisdiction in our own land. Anybody else, they can do whatever they want. They're not violating our rights. They're good. But what's violate rights mean? What do you mean? Anything. You blink the wrong way at a Moor, you might lose your hand. Because you're a foreigner. You don't have any clout or say or no attitude, nothing like that. What you mean, nigger? What do you mean? Just like that. Oh, I was singing a song. Because why? Black guys do it, so what the hell? Those guys are the sovereigns. Everybody knows what's up. They just can't tell you. This Moor was outweighted. Just like Corrin Gaines was outweighted. Because these people have Moors in positions where they have to stand up for themselves. Like, there ain't no options. There's no call somebody, whatever. This is going down right now. And you have to respond. It's not about not responding. It's not about not responding. It's about responding. But how do you respond? I can guarantee you, there probably is more Science Temple where he's at. Probably went to them and they were on some BS. Because there's no way that a Bey has a business and he's not part of a Moorish something. He has a Moorish business. What do you mean? He's a Bey with a business. Again, if these sellouts would have done their job, instead of taking fezzes from grand muftis and all that stuff, to say that you're Moors now, 2019, now, you're saying something? The bin said something. The bin said something. We'd be nowhere where we're at right now dealing with all this BS if you people would have stopped playing games a long time ago. And we know that we were on track and people slid in and sold out. They're also going to play around. So people under a bus instead of being real.
Understanding the kind of the two foundations of the Black Panther Party was self-defense and self-reliance, self-help. But with the passage of time, I mean, so much the Black Panthers have become just the self-defense side. The black berets, the clenched fists, the guns, and that we seem to have forgotten, or there hasn't been the same attention paid to the literacy programs, the breakfast programs, the self-help and the community programs. Why is that?
That's because when we said that we would defend ourselves if we're attacked by any races, I mean, that captures everybody's imagination.
Mm-hmm. Right? It's a little bit more exciting than breakfast in a bag, I guess.
We were reacting to the several years preceding that period, preceding October 1966 when we created the band. We were reacting to all the brutality that had been launched on the peaceful demonstrators. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a night law school. And the constant reference, As you used to say, every time they jump on the peaceful demonstrators, they're violating the First Amendment of the Constitution because it clearly states that all of them have a right to peacefully redress and peacefully assemble.
Okay, so that's what Moors are on. Enforce the Constitution on these people. If Bobby Seale's saying that the founders came up enforcing Constitution on these people, that's why they were able to do whatever they did. It wasn't because of some black whatever, because they were enforcing Constitution. People played you the whole time. There'll be some black militant whatever. There's not some black whatever. This is freedom for people, all people. Enforce the Constitution on these people. They got speeches with Huey P. Newton talking to homosexuals and all that stuff. He lecturing to them. These people were constitutionalists. That's how they had that power. That's why they feared them. That's why COINTELPRO. It wasn't because some black under some I'm black whatever. That's why they took these people out, because they're enforcing the supreme law of the land. They weren't playing statutes and codes and ordinances. Remember, Afeni Shakur was self-counsel. When she got all them Panthers off those charges, they didn't have no lawyer. Why? Because they're constitutionalists. All these people had law degrees. There were some Negroes that were on the corner and they didn't know what to do. So they said they're going to pick up guns and they're going to stand up for some black whatever. The hell out of here. People have no honor to your foremothers and forefathers. Talking crazy about Moors. Zero honor. So these people came up telling you enforce Constitution. All these people who you say you're repping, going to Super Bowl wearing black berets and stuff like that. They ain't enforcing no Constitution on these people. Not bringing up that nationality and that birthright. Because you know, you know. You play around like you don't know. Stay playing games with people.
The only peacefully assembled. Now Blue Corner and the racists are jumping on them. Therefore, they're violating their constitutional rights. They're violating the law of land. This was Huey Newton. So when we came along looking at this for several years, we started, he says, oh, we're going to stand for self-defense. If you attack us, we'll shoot back. But we did it by law. We were so damn legal when we went out to patrol the police and observe the police with illegal guns. We knew all the laws on that. It blew the cops' mind. The fact that we knew all our civil rights laws.
Well, and the fact, I guess, carrying an unconcealed weapon was completely lawful.
Loaded, unconcealed. Remember, I was in the military, so the youth was trained. I had Albert Howard, big man Albert Howard. He helped me.
Oh, isn't that the same thing that Noble Drew Ali said? That when the Moors were having a party or whatever, and then some people were coming to do harm, and when they came to do harm, they saw that there was military people at Moor Science Temple. And then whoever sent those people to go do something to the prophet, they went back and said, hey, Don't send us to mess with that man anymore. Because there were people who knew about their nationality and birthrights, but they were in certain positions. What they do, like anybody else, bring their stuff back to their nation. What's he talking about? Taking what he learned from colonizer and then bringing it back to his nation and using that to assist the nation. Because, hey, if I'm for this, then whatever's mine belongs to it as well. There's been a big joke, and our people been the joke. The Moors have been putting it on the record. The Moors been telling you what's going on. Not hearing what's going on. Telling you it was, everybody was getting in line. Everyone was getting in line. The Almighty Black Keystone Nation. Natalie Moore and Lance Williams. Page 96. The Stones and the Panthers. With all of the violence going on in the black community, the Black Panthers thought that by forming some type of alliance with the street gangs, they might be able to steer them away from killing each other. The Black Panthers saw potential in the Stones and wanted to foster their community learnings, not their predilection for street violence. The first sign of the Black Stone Rangers and the Black Panther Party hooking up occurred in October 1968. The Chicago Tribune reported on a rally before Black Panther Party Defense Minister Huey P. Newton held at the Senate Theater on West Madison Street on Chicago's west side. Newton was serving a 2 to 15-year sentence for a manslaughter in the death of an Oakland policeman. At that point, no official chapter of the Black Panthers existed in Chicago, but undercover police agents observed 30 members of the Panthers at the meeting. Dressed in their uniform of black berets and black leather jackets, they marched in military fashion to their seats. About 200 people attended the rally. Blackstone leadership attended along with the Egyptian Cobras and the Vice Lords. During the rally, Black nationalist speakers and street youth organizations called for unification among the groups. One speaker described the street youth organization as the warriors that are needed. According to Oakland police, Panther leaders there indicated to several sources that they had been working hard to recruit the Blackstone Rangers. They said the Panthers wanted to try to pick up a gang already in existence that will be willing to adhere to the principles of the Panthers. The Black Panthers rehearsed their military stance the night before. They wanted to impress the Stones. They also wanted to build a black political coalition that would shake up the Chicago Democratic machine. Deep down, they knew such an alliance would spook the establishment. It turned out the FBI fretted even more. On a January weekday morning in 1969, the leadership of the Black Panther Party headed to a meeting with the Stones in Woodlawn. I think Jeff was trying to recruit us into the Blackstone Rangers, says Bobby Rush, a former Panther and current Chicago Democratic congressman. Our goal was to try to get Jeff more political. Several Panthers pulled up to the building. They got out of the car carrying guns and marched down the street in a military formation. When police got word about a squadron of young black men carrying guns down the street, it didn't take long for them to show up. Mortified by the scene, officers arrested some Panthers before they could stash their weapons, so the Panthers and the Stones didn't meet. Undeterred, Rush and Fred Hampton returned that night with several male and female Panthers to First Presbyterian. Fort made sure he presented his own show. Stone met the Panthers at the church door. You know how crazy that would be. Jeff Fort and Fred Hampton. And then there, and remember that Jeff Fort is Malik L. So knowing that the Panthers know and were studying Constitution to that degree, it would have been the Garvey and Noble Drew Ali unification all over again, just on the level of street gang and black organization. And what they do? Got him out the way ASAP. Got Jeff Fort out the way ASAP. Right? I think really feel the energy of this. This is real right here. Right? To see why. Remember where Jeff Fort was taking this. Street gang was nationalizing, Fez's up and all that. We were talking about where's the Moors military and all that stuff. We were going to have all that. It comes back to the same thing I keep telling all you people. Dirty Moors are why you're in the problems you're in right now being a Moor. Whatever problem it is, dirty Moors is probably why you're going through that BS. Because they tried to bury this. They tried to get this out of circulation for real, for real. The Black Panthers and the Peastone Rangers were going to unify. Jeff Fort and Fred Hampton had a meeting. Are you a crackhead or what? What more what needs to be told to you? What more needs to be told to you? As the Panthers walked up the stairs, men with walkie-talkies communicated at each level. Stones wore red beret. Panthers wore black. When we got to the gymnasium, Jeff greeted us. We shook hands and everything, Rush says. I remember Jeff saying, when you came in, you demonstrated your weaponry, and we wanted to show you a few things we've got here. They convened at an 8-foot table. Fort sat at the head. Hampton and Rush sat on either side. Fort picked up the walkie-talkie and instructed someone to bring out the machine gun. The room was pitch black except for a little light shining on the gun. Rush says mutual respect existed between the organizations. We weren't trying to recruit the Stones into an apparatus. We wanted to build a coalition. I think they wanted us to become an affiliated organization. The Panthers wanted to influence the Stones into a political organization that performed community activities like establishing free clinics. Rush believes a coalition would have resulted in the city's first black mayor long before Harold Washington's 1983 victory. Rush muses that this would be a coalition couldn't have been a political threat, a threat that could have had national and international implications. We would have been quite successful. They, the establishment, had to tear that potential asunder or destroy the basic fabric of it. The meeting lasted about an hour. The last thing said was that the groups would keep talking and have a subsequent meeting. Rush says Fort was receptive. No follow-up meetings ever happened. Police killed Hampton in December 1969 as he slept in his West Side home. The Stones made sure they paid their respects at his funeral. I recall right in the middle of civil rights leader Abernathy's speech, I heard a shuffle. I looked toward the rear of the church and Jeff came in. Rush recalled, 2,000 Stones walked in wearing red berets and dark sunglasses. They spoke not a word, but marched around the church, then marched right back out. Years later, it was revealed that the FBI had sent anonymous letters to Fort and Hampton written by a concerned black brother who penned to both men that one was trying to kill the other. Fort never believed the letter to be authentic. According to Stones, Fort was actually amused by it. He knew all along that the feds had sent the letter. Conventional street wisdom is that street brothers don't send one another letters warning them that someone has a hit on them. The letter, however, does speak volumes about the degree to which the feds were willing to use unethical, illegal tactics to cause dissension between the two groups. The Panthers were a political organization that was not opposed to advocating violence in the struggle for black liberation. The Stones were less political than the Panthers, but had demonstrated a greater capacity to be involved in violence. One former police officer, a founding member of the Afro-American Patrolmen's League, says that the feds saw the Panthers as the head and the Stones as the body of a potentially uncontrollable black militant organization. He says the feds would have gone to hell and back to stop the head from hooking up to the body. The Panthers and the Stones never hooked up, but it wasn't because of the letters. The Panthers came to view the Stones as counter-revolutionaries who weren't willing to discipline themselves to become a force for black liberation. The Stones, on the other hand, viewed the Panthers as political idealists and pseudo-revolutionaries. The leadership of both groups had respect for each other, but neither had any intention of allowing their organization to become incorporated into the other. And why? Because the Peace Stones were Moors. They're a nation. They weren't an organization. The Panthers would have said, proclaim and declare. They would have had to. Because again, Chief Malik L proves to you that anybody saying that they're repping some Peace Stone, whatever, supposed to be proclaim more. And they're supposed to be carrying on the works. They're not supposed to be playing around with it. Constitutionalists. And they were so real with it. They weren't even waiting. They said, forget this. Take this man out. Forget this.
Now, some have noted, looking at what's happened to not so much the black community, but inner city problems with cuts in the whole kind of fiscal climate in North America, that the time is right for
the emergence of new activist groups, much like the Panthers were in the 60s, today in the 90s. Do you see a lot of the conditions that caused the Panthers to emerge being replicated today?
Very different. In the middle 1950s, we're talking only 400 duly elected politicians. You have over 10,000. Really, largely, when you talk about pushing, and even though it's not really the final revolutionary struggle, that's already been done. You don't need any guns. I wouldn't even emphasize guns.
That's interesting.
They need to network. Every intercommunity area need to network 1,000 video cams. There were no video cams in my day, right? So we had law books and tape recorders and shotguns, video cams. There were no video cams in my day, right? So we had law books and tape recorders and shotguns.
We had law books. Aren't these same RBG put the fist up people or whatever talking BS about Moors using the white man's law and all that stuff? Hold on a second. So there's people out there today, BPP Newton Gun Club, Black Panther Party, New Black Panther Party, Liberation for the Black Man, Woo Movement, whatever. They say that they rep fist in the air, black power, and all that. They say they rep that. They rep for the Panthers. They rep hard for the Panthers. They rep so hard for the Panthers, they made a movie out of it. They rep. Now they rep for the Panthers so hard, but the Panthers were on some law books. Now, I don't know anybody who does the law books other than people who are students of law. Which obviously, you know, those people are readers. I don't know too many black whoever's that deal with law. Incompetent people don't have law books. And our people are incompetent people. They know, and they're telling you, but you're not listening. You're caught up in BS.
I'm almost there. I said that several times, but this, I think this is about the next to the last time. He said to me, God has gone in front of you and made friends for you all the way around the earth. And I found them as I went around the earth. Could you bring me a package, please? Look, some of my Muslim family, they don't believe that the minister is honored like the scripture said. A prophet is not without honor except where? What you got there, Chief? Libya, and the Grand Mufti of Burkina Faso, that man, when he met me, we talked a few minutes, but he had been listening to me. He took off his fez. He's the highest spiritual leader in Burkina Faso. He studied in Syria and became the second black imam in Syria. The first one was Imam Bilal.
Remember, we're talking about Syria. How interesting it is. This is Maghreb Al-Aqsa by R.B. Cunningham Graham. M-O-G-R-E-B, Maghreb, L-E-L, Aqsa, A-C-K-S-A, Maghreb Al-Aqsa. R.B. Cunningham, with an E on the end. R.B. Cunningham. Latif, following his character of a man of letters, rode on a mule perched on a high red pack saddle, which loosely girthed after the Moorish fashion, swayed about and made it quite impossible for him to mount or dismount without assistance. By this time, we had bought our Moorish clothes, in which Latif, being Syrian, looked exactly like one of the figures on the outside of a missionary journal, which assumed to represent biblical characters and really are a libel on the Syrian race. You think they don't know? How don't they know? You know how hard they're going. Just to try to show the people, just doing their best. Because like we said, people have oaths. And because they have oaths, they can't tell. And because they can't tell, they're going to tell you in symbology. They can't tell you in words. We might not be masters, but we are studiers of symbols. The symbol of him bringing out the fez on Saviours' Day. Bringing it out on Saviours' Day. So people could see. is to put it on the record symbolically, because the world knows what the Fez means when someone in North America wears it. Someone from the wilderness of North America putting a Fez on is different than someone anywhere else in the world putting a Fez on. Seems like they don't know what it is that they're doing. Right? Putting it on the record. Because remember, he can't talk. He has an oath. Well, no, I don't have an oath or whatever like that. So how come you're not talking? Just tell the people that they're Moors. Tell them go proclaim their nationality. That's the best thing that they could do. Now, keep these people black. Keep the people black, Negro colored. But the heads get the holy name after they did their tests and stuff like that. They could get their holy name. And then they're saying Bey and El or whatever in secret. Have these people thinking that they're getting some Shabazz or Muhammad or something. Playing around.
1,400 years later, a black man becomes an imam.
I know. Remember, symbology, right? What does he do when he calls the
And the Grand Mufti of Burkina Faso, that man, when he met me, we talked a few minutes, but he had been listening to me. He took off his fez. He's the highest spiritual leader in Burkina Faso. He studied in Syria and became the second black imam in Syria. The first one was Imam Bilal. 1,400 years later, a black man becomes an imam in Syria, and he's now the principal. Look, some of my Muslim family, they don't believe that the minister is honored like the scripture says. A prophet is not without honor except where? What you got there, Chief? Oh, that one. I was in Libya, and the Grand Mufti of Burkina Faso, that man, when he met me, we talked a few minutes, but he had been listening to me. He took off his fez. He's the highest spiritual leader in Burkina Faso. He studied in Syria and became the second black imam in Syria. The first one was Imam Bilal. 1400 years later, a black man becomes.
See that rub right there? Remember the top of the fez, the hole.
We talked a few minutes, but he had been listening to me. He took off his fez. He's the highest spiritual leader in Burkina Faso. He studied in Syria and became the second black imam in Syria. The first one was Imam Bilal. 1400 years later, a black man becomes an imam in Syria, and he's now the principal spiritual teacher in the country of Burkina Faso. So he met me, and he took it off. And it fit.
He's not telling you. Forget words. Leave words out of it. I don't care what he says. Forget words. Focus on imagery. Focus on people outside of the world watching this. Remember, it's 4 hours in. They would think this is Moorish movement right here. They would think 1920s Noble Drew Ali, oh yeah, that's what it looks like now. Okay, cool. You know he has a free national, so he can pull that one off. But remember, it is all symbolic code. Forget words. Right? See, the podium is the 3-step ladder. Truth, fish, fruition. And he's holding fruition. The games will continue to go on because there has to be balance. But you have to come to a certain realization. This is the same about Moors. Moors already know what's up. This is about everybody else who's there not realizing what's up. And don't let them play the religious BS. This is not, this happening right now, 4:21, 50 seconds in. This is a proclamation. This is a declaration, but it's symbolic. It's not in words and paper. It's in presentation. surprised if he's standing on his square behind that podium.
I'm going to ask a question. Why would a man who's the top spiritual leader in a country take off his fez and put it on my head unless he recognizes
that Farrakhan's a Moor? That's what he recognized. That's what he knows. Again, think about it. Of all the things that he can give Farrakhan that are his possessions, that's personal to him. Of all the things, man recognized that Farrakhan is a Moor and gave him his fez. And he was supposed to come back here and not put it in a bag. That's not some hand that down so everybody could hold it or whatever. After you transition, then you put that in the bag or the case or whatever. You're supposed to be wearing that. If Grand Mufti gave that fez to you, if Grand Mufti gave him that fez, Grand Mufti gave that fez up, then why are people playing around? Why are they playing? I just want to put this one out there. Dress of the Mexicans, Journal of American Folklore. By inquiring what was the clothing of the Moorish working classes and then comparing it with that now in use among the Mexicans, the exact amount of survival can at once be determined. The adage that the apparel doth oft proclaim the man was as true of the Arab Moor and of the Mexicans as of the Dane or the Anglo. The adage that apparel doth oft proclaim the man was as true of the Arab Moor and of the Mexican as of the Dane or the Anglo. The Angland man, the Dane or the Anglo. Arab Moor and Mexican wearing the same clothing. Many know. They're definitely not telling. Probably not telling is that people are playing. People are playing. And we're just gonna check the email. Let's go through some emails. There's a couple here. Before that, let's just watch it.
I don't want to mess up my wig here. Now, get the.
Ain't nothing else to see. That's that. I'm gonna send this one, which is kind of weird. Strange picture. Strange picture. Europeans part of the circus, running their own circus. Sheep-headed people, cannibal race. When you check the bottom, you see they got some Moors in there, some Turks. Hercules guy, Andre the Giant. I don't know what that was about. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, Islam. To the more I send this one, Islamberg. Islamberg. You have to wonder. How come nobody tells our people? They keep our people in the dark, super dark. They created a Muslim enclave in upstate New York. Then came the online conspiracies. Now that looks like Fez is up to me. I don't know. I could be seeing things, but that looks like Fez is up. Islamberg. And you could just read that. In the years since, Enclave's residents have forged relationships with the state and local law enforcement, made connections with their non-Muslim neighbors from nearby towns, work alongside each other in medical clinics and offices. Children are teammates in the youth football and basketball. Residents of Islamberg have found that there is no such thing as a safe haven in the internet age. Islamberg. Threats against Islamberg. Now just do your research on Islamberg, and once you don't say that you're Moors, they'll give you what you want. But remember, that keeps you under their jurisdiction, which is all they want. Islamberg. So again, because of no status. Say, well, the Bey sued them and look what he got. Yeah, these people didn't do jack. People just living in peace and harmony with themselves. Everybody knows that they're law-abiding. The state police commander in the region recognized them. Islamberg, interesting story. But they just, you know, doing the pattern fezzes. Which, you know, hey, you know what I mean? It's Inquisition. Islamberg was started around 1980 by a group of mostly African Americans who converted to Islam in the 1960s and followed Sheikh Mubarak Ali Shah Jilani, a Pakistani cleric and founder of Muslims of America. Right? And remember, Noble Drew Ali is the first of that. Noble Drew Ali is the first of that. Muslim whatever in America. Noble Drew Ali is the foundation of that. Muslims are the founders. Yeah. Well, when I was reading, I read the Muslims. Oh yeah, those are the same people as the Muslims. Don't go nuts. Moors, oh, those are the same people as the Muslims, as the Muslim people, as the Arabs, as the Saracens, as the whatever, as all the same stuff. Our people. In America, the Islamic faith being practiced in America amongst so-called Negro, black, colored people started with Noble Drew Ali in the 1900s, early 1900s. Started with him. He's the founder of that in America. Go get Sylvester A. Johnson, African American Religions. Sylvester A. Johnson, African American Religions. Noble Drew Ali on the cover. Yeah. Islamberg Mosque. Looks like a fez right there. Security post. People try to storm them, all types of stuff. Crazy. These are quote-unquote black people that are Muslim. They're from somewhere else. They're all from here. They're all from this side. Once you look like us and you start talking about Muslim, whatever, you're Moorish. That's how the world's looking at you. Not looking at you as no black Muslim anything, African American Muslim, whatever. They're looking at us as Moors because they know that's what's up. They know. There was there's so much proof out there. There's so much proof out there. This one's a good one. Spain of old, Spain of today. So the darkest Spain of old. We're looking over here. Or Spain of today. Little stuff right here. Spain of old is all this? How is all this old Spain? September 26, 1915. Washington Herald. Old Spain is over here. If old Spain's on this side, then our people have stuff really messed up. They thought they knew their self, but our people don't know their self. They are backwards on themselves. Their head is facing back and they're walking forward talking crazy. And you're always going to have these ones. People who continue to play around as if Noble Drew Ali didn't say what he wanted to say. That one. Where the hell did it go? Are you a Moorish American without being a member of the MSTA? No. RV Bey Publications. Moorish American is a political jurisdiction established for Moors by Prophet Noble Drew Ali for those who were involved / members of the MSTA. Now, we always go back to what did Noble Drew Ali put out for Moors so they can know. He put out 101 questionnaire, Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple, Moorish literature, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Moorish Guide newspaper. Now, when we check those things, we see that Noble Ali made many references to Moors throughout the literature. Made references to Moroccan, references to Moabites. When we think about Noble Ali, we know that he was born Timothy Drew. So if he was born Timothy Drew, and he's the founder of Moorish Science Temple of America, you're telling me that Timothy Drew created Moorish Science Temple of America, then went in there and said, I am Noble Drew Ali, and declared his nationality, and then he was Noble Drew Ali after that? Because if the logic is that Moorish Science Temple of America makes you a Moor, then we have to ask the question, which one did Noble Drew Ali go to? Just let us know. Which one did Drew Ali go to? No? Nothing? Okay. So don't fall for the BS that you have to go to the temple in order to be a Moorish American. You're a Moorish American because you're a descendant of Moroccan, born in America, according to Noble Drew Ali. You're not Moorish American because you went through the doors of the Moorish Science Temple and they put the flag around you and gave you a card and you said you're Moorish American. So now you're Moorish American. It's like the joke Abdullah always makes about Moors that he's talking about. I nationalized in, like they weren't Moors before that. We were just absent-minded of us being Moors. But even if you don't know you're a Moor, you're a Moor. Right? That's like we're saying, bloodline box. You open that, you fall in there, and then you realize what the birthright is. You're born a Moor. You're a descendant of a Moroccan, born in America. He is descendant of Moroccan. Because remember, this is Morocco. Yusuf El voice. This is Morocco. If you're a descendant of Moroccan, born in America, you're a descendant of Moroccan, born in Morocco. So you're Moor. And temple can't do that for you. And anybody pushing the temple's doing that for you is probably going to hold that over you. Just like there was somebody who, that they were trying to be involved with a temple. They realized, you know what? These people are wasting my time because they're not teaching me anything. These Moors in the temple told the Moor that no temple for you. We're not letting you be in our temple. Not letting somebody. that's a good thing. Better they let you go than keep you in there, being their servant. Because people have ego problems that they ain't dealt with. But that was a blessing. Because you got Moors out here tripping. They're the number one whoever. Oh yeah, this one was pretty crazy too. So I mean, it's great. It's great to just know Moors who study. Moors who just study. A lot of interesting things happening. Very interesting things happening. This one is cool. Muslims form community patrol. Self-funded group sees itself as neighborhood watch. No, I'm good. Maybe I'll try. That's what you guys are on. So they're on some rep for their stuff. Can't even do it. You want nobody to know about that story. So it's ultimately about what is this thing at? You could look up Shomrim, SHOMRIM. SHOMRIM. And they've gone and did what? They got their safety patrol. Now again, it's amazing how far some people could, go with their nationality. Well, it might be just some community patrol or whatever, but they gave their people jobs. They have now their own lights too and all that. How do they get that far? It's like with the Moorish Orthodox Church. They got Moorish passports and all that going in. The other one, again, the more I'm studying, so the more it's put us on. Once put us on Killer Mike got series going on right now. Trigger warning. Netflix series. So one of the episodes is called Kill Your Master. And Kill Your Master is about him wanting to build a new nation. Because all the BS that's going on around here, we need our own stuff and whatever. Now, we know these people know. We know that they know. There's no way that he doesn't know. There's no way he doesn't know. How do we know he doesn't know? How do we know he knows? Because he went to the Nuwapian nation of Moors to get some insight on how to go about starting this new African nation. He goes to the Nuwapian nation of Moors. Now, the reference point lets you know that he knows. If you're really onto something, you was got Noble Drawley in there, but you can't do that because definitely not gonna get on Netflix. So they find this plantation, or they go to Nuwapian. Nuwapian tells them, well, hey, first thing you gotta do or whatever, you know what I mean, you gotta get some land so that, you know, you can do what you gotta do on it. Now this is a Nuwapian nation of Moor leader. Now why would you just not tell this brother that he's a Moor? I mean, who knows, you know, certain things might have to get cut out or whatever. Because they're not going to be on some Netflix telling you all the goods. It's not in their best interest for our people to wake up to their birthright here in the Moroccan Empire. They need to start some new Africa that's going to be on an old plantation. New Africa is going to be on an old plantation. Because they want to be free from American rule. You want to be free from the copper-colored natives who were in America before the Europeans got here rule? Why would you want to be free of that? Why do you want to be free of that? Why do you want to be free of self-governance? What's the purpose? Why would you want to be free of that? You don't have to build a new nation, Killer Mike. You already are a nation. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us that we are a nation. We have a flag. So you have to make up your flag, put your face on it. You're the president of something. We don't need you on our flag. We already have a flag that has Venus on it. Because this is divine first. We have our national customs. Now, once we start practicing those, we'll be respected. We have our land because we're in our own land. We didn't come from any Africa. The fact that we're playing Africa still in 2019 lets the world know we're playing, that we're not serious really about our liberation. Because again, in the USFL voice, this is Morocco. It's not U.S. You know, governments and all that stuff. You're telling me, oh yeah, they're shut down, but then ICE is going after people? I thought they're shut down. ICE is Homeland Security. What you mean they're going after people when they're shut down? And then you're mad. Oh, look what they did. They bothered this guy. Why they bother this guy? They're supposed to be shut down. How stuff start back up? What's going on here? How are you building a new nation when you got a nation that's ancient? Why not just be the old nation? Oh, but then if you go there, then it means no airplay. Because you can only talk about the Moors and some. You know, ain't nobody taking Wapian more serious after what happened to Dr. York. Come on. Stop playing. Ain't taking that serious. Talking about you thought that they were Shriners. You thought that they were Shriners. You thought the Europeans let some brothers in. You know who the Moors are. Stop this. And please, you know Moors. I know you know Moors. You go into that guy. And then he's going to tell you not declare your nationality. Not proclaim who you are. Oh yeah, no, just go be Killer Mike and go buy some land in the Killer Mike name. Don't worry. We want to start a new nation. We're gonna buy this land. We're gonna set up our nation on this land. And that's not how you start nations, boy. Sorry. Somebody told you something wrong. It's very obvious that our people are trying. You know, they're trying. There's also people who don't need to try, and they're straight playing it. Because we know that they know better. We are convinced they know better. And if they're choosing not to tell, sorry for you. Sorry for you. Don't forget Moors, Eastern Standard Time, MHHS, eyes wide open, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call in number 319-527-6751. 319-527-6751. 425-569-5201. 425-569-5201. And 347-945-5899. 347-945-5899. Peace and love to all the Moors, worldwide, wherever you are. We already know that we are a nation. Let's get that word out. Wake up our people. Don't forget, willofalah.com. Get any of your Iron Sheik music, willofalah.com. Wisdom of the Womb, triple album. khalifamedia.com for all the GS Cujo L books. khalifamedia.com. And don't forget nomoredaily.com. Get yourself some merchandise. Support the cause. And don't forget to keep studying. And that Holy Covenant and that Moorish American Peace Treaty. If we stay in line with that, we should be all right. I want to say Islam to all the chat Moors for holding it up out there. I know it's nothing now. Trolls don't even come to our chat anymore, which is great. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Everywhere the Moors are at. Everywhere that the Moors are at. Islam.
Don't ask me if it's a just war. That's not up to us. To us, it's just war.
Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Crossing enemy lines, war morals entangled. Once you show me the ropes, I show you warrior strangle. Separate bodies, 6-degree angles. High caliber grip when he rambles. From his tip, bionic lip equipped with the handles. Could have careers crippled in shambles. It's Vandal, Michael Jordan fans know. Nobody with my ammo. Nightmare to the son of Samuel. Spit with the camels, my energy's camel. Anger I channel, use it like a radical tamil. Got tried as a terrorist, then my hammer spat at your panel. Weapons are formed, had to dismantle. Handle it manual, left it to God. I'm on the path to a manual. Such a thrill, feel of a life giver. I catch your body, I deliver. You catch your body, you a killer. So I'm not your typical digger. Every time I rhyme, I pull a trigger. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Not like a newsie, I'm a broken toolie in a ghetto movie. Might explode if you let them use me. Usually cool, I.e. to identify me. You should probably be thinking highly. Trying to find wisdom where I be. While I be dodging, listening, missing the missiles whistle by me. Wonder what they pay to try to buy me. Kingfisher play to bat me. Got me thinking all I need is my family. Sometimes I think all I need is a Grammy. To cure the Alzheimer's, to cure my granny. And anyone who understand me. Even the ones that try to ban me. We all kids if the world is candy. Watch what you hand me, I'm gonna let you hang me. I'm never going back to that place again. On a new path, not a pace of sin. You should play it back, you should take it in. I tied up one of my homies' legs, one of my homies' arms. Hope to die before losing my one and my only mom. Terror in my eyes, you worried about Saddam. I watch the temperature rise between niggas who get it on. When you hear the song, the message has no discretion. Pull up in the tank so the people know my aggression. Still Hannibal's weapon. Try to test him when class is in session. He'll dissect the lesson. Leave your body parts in the West End. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Alright.
Various things we learn as we live, like the experience, wisdom to give attention to that self that's in. Time has been made form of this virtuous measurements, evident based on like compliment that we were purposing. Still we're meant to do more. Whisper the voice of the core, which turns into a roar whenever we rhyme on the floor. Memories before now, happy reflecting how prophesizing on monopolizing like they do the cow. Correction, since they refer to deal with deception, and our direction is for self-inspection into perfection. No perplexing, just speaking, respecting those that's teaching, reflections that are reaching to that point where they preaching. The concept of borderlines, intertwining out an angel, either in a demon spy, my cons, always ready to build, feeling the battle trails, knowing that we will do what's necessary to heal the ill to the mind of a soldier, growing in the north colder. So consequently, as we've gotten older, gotten bolder, rhyme solo, where the air trigger that pioneer spirit, hear it inform it and spit it out a conduit, no doubt. We about profitable gain, Gucci check a leak of change. Similar, you're not the same as those who just seek to get paid. Emphasizing time to strain, focusing on loss and pain. Tearing like the rain, we switch up add on as we maintain.
Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time. Military mind in the military time.
On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When the truth gets revealed, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. On the real, on the real. When I uplift the fallen humans from the ashes, the phoenix will rise and live on after it clashes. Feathers and head wraps, costume ball sashes. Atlantis and Pangea was us ruling the atlas. The mundane, some god and numb brain. True God is reincarnate, some self-proclaimed. Taking the lessons from Quran questions. Bible as my rolling pad, holy book, circle 7. Forerunner Marcus, God be coming in the whirlwind. Moorish Bey muftis in the black turban. Pioneer exposed as the triple crown glows. Every Negus has the Negus as his throne. The temple as the body. Truth as Mashadi. With no dodge, I'm still armed without the robbery. Master arts martial, and they marshal the law. Peace office abuse authority, fracture your jaw. Clapping at y'all at bachelor parties. Not knowing whether it's controlled by HAARP. Stopping the tapping of UH frequency. Sent to the higher self from Sirius B, or maybe Sirius A. The reverse is serious internet radio play. Like square shreddies are now diamond and new. Misleading, they charge a bill 50 for a shoe. It takes $5 to make. They load trucks with bins. Same goes for cars, construction Tims. So clean, no scuffs. Revolution chunks, reclining in the armchair, speechless like monks. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably go squeal. Change is coming. I'm watching hybrids running for shade, cause Earth's hot, not like a preheat oven. Raid restores for UV protection. If AIDS can go through the condoms, who you protecting? Neglecting the truth and lie accepting. Not in for be a person, reparations expecting. Planes going down, but you're not ejecting. Too busy flossing with the spinning rims and white feet flexing. Fronts are fake elements, that's not real gold. Running from police with guns is not too bold, cause you got a gun but won't shoot back, son, or shoot first and earn your way off earth. Suicide is a sin and sin is ignorance. Not thinking could makes you ignorant. Listen the message. Ego filling your brain with nonsensical thoughts just to drive you insane. On the real, all these 30 Moors know the deal. On the real, all these 30 Moors know the deal. On the real, all these 30 Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal. Our leaders labeled black, they were assigned to us. As ancients, we flew. We didn't have to ride the bus or drink at their fountain. We didn't even need our own. The gun is a penis and every man is holding a chrome. Thinking it's tough, but when you shoot, you bust like Vixens holding you in with the camera with clutch, smoking a Dutch, but taught much against the master. Sellouts will pay karmic debt in the life after. Don't believe me, seek the truth. I hear hail Hitler when I play back these hip-hop loops that rap hip-hop. Nas said it's dead. Same gun he raps about, shot Jay in the head. Cripple a team. These ball players, they cripple a dream. Counting the asses that they slap but won't get a bad rap. And rap sheets are written by them. It's police, not following Moors, but niggas booming in their Jeeps. Europeans on the bus, they acting like niggas. Straight off the plantation, looking like J Hill figure. From the foreigner, you'll never get compensated. This armor you man saying you strapped, you been miseducated. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When we start the revolution, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. When the truth gets revealed, all they probably do is squeal. On the real, all these dirty Moors know the deal. On the real, on the real.